Will Shota Imanaga and the Cubs take down the Yankees this afternoon at Wrigley? Will Ranger Suarez come to life late night at Dodger Stadium? Find out now on MLB Bases Loaded. A huge card on slate today.
15-game card. It's us versus the bookies. Bases loaded, high noon. It's going to be a showdown.
On a suddenly not so casual Friday, the buy hat is engaged. Two questions posed, answers to be found. It is Friday, July the 31st, 2026. MLB Bases Loaded. I'm the Shark. He is Mikey Money. Mike, what's going on this morning?
Man, I'm looking to bounce back with reckless abandon today. You know what's funny is a lot of guys are like, you can't win any money if you're only betting 1 units. How do you win money if you're betting 1 units? You win money because you consistently stack it high, you take dog shots, and you let it fly. But, man, not so casual a letdown yesterday, man. The bottom of the 9th inning, twice in 3 games, Kansas City gets busted up. The Texas Rangers, they were oh my God, unbelievable situation out there. Them Texas Rangers lost 2 of 3 games in that series, and they led or tied almost every inning with the exception of like 2. And so that's just some heartbreak hotel right there. But that's why we bet 1 unit, man. You take some shots at the plus 165s. You don't get there. But the funny thing is, Shark, if you bet a unit on each of the games, 1 unit on Kansas City or a unit on Texas, you lost about 0.2 units in that series. You had a chance to win like 7. You lost 0.2. If you bet a unit on Kansas City or Minnesota in each of those games, Minnesota and Tampa Bay, you only ended up 0.3 units up. So it was a half a unit swing. The dog players had the chance to pick up 7, 8, 9 units, but just wasn't in the cards for us. So we'll fire back here. We'll see how it works. But that is how you stay profitable in baseball, not taking these minus 180s. Speaking of minus 180s here, I'm looking forward to this card today.
Yeah, no, laying juice in baseball is a disaster without question. And, really, truthfully, it's just an objective commentary point. You're not going to win every side in baseball. It's crazy. We're kind of in the woods here a little bit. It is pre-trade deadline, of course. A lot of moving parts. We're going to, get that conversation going alongside the 60-minute rundown here, as always. A lot of big-name players are going to be moved this afternoon, across the weekend, and, of course, the trade deadline on Monday afternoon. A lot of moving parts. Great conversation to ensue, guys. If you guys are in the chat on the East Coast, it is lunch hour. Get to lunch, maybe get a beer. It's a relaxing little afternoon. If you guys are on the West Coast, get your coffee and get ready to fire. It is a suddenly not so casual Friday, the last Friday of July of 2026. Let's get down to some business and let's go to some afternoon baseball. We're going to Chicago. We're going to Wrigleyville. Yankees Cubs opening up a series for the weekend this afternoon at 2:20. That is 1:20 local. Will Warren at Shota Imanaga. We detailed this yesterday. Yankees just traveled across town here. Lost yesterday in extra innings to the White Sox in 11. Probably had a nice steak dinner, maybe a little rejuvenated, maybe not. I don't know. Mike, what's going on in this game?
Listen, you talk about the trade deadline, so it's utmost importance to recognize these lineups are very fluid right now. They're going to be changing. And sometimes what happens here is last minute, you get a phone call that says you're interested in a player. That player does not go out there. So pay attention to these lineups, specifically the next 3 days, right? The trade deadline is Monday. I think it's like 4 p.m. or whatever. So Saturday, Sunday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even Monday, pitching changes might ensue. Now, look, I told you before, I don't really care. And even yesterday, I talked to you guys about this Texas Rangers game, and I said, listen, I'd be pissed if they took Eovaldi out and my bet got canceled. And reality is I stand on it, man. It was a great performance by that young gun out there. A lot of times the bases got juiced up, but still a 1-run loss. So I don't care so much about the pitchers. We know who's on the trade table, but bats, importantly, are the things you want to look at for this game. So as it relates to the Yankees and the Cubs, they sat in town. I don't think their lineup is tough. Shark. Extra innings. Both these teams, extra innings. I'm going to take the under. I'm going to go with the under 9. I think there's a little exhaustion that ensues. It is Wrigley. We do see the wind, doing its thing as it does out there. But I just think these two lineups are exhausted. And for that reason, I know Imanaga can shove. He doesn't play so great at home, but Willie Warren, he's not so great either. But I think for today's intent and purpose here, I'd have to play the dog in the Yankees, but I like the under.
Yeah, no, really interesting conversation. Obviously, as we said, both teams going to extras yesterday. You talk about the coin flip nature of this sport right now. A lot of teams just very tightly graded against each other. But you know what, guys? It is Friday afternoon. I don't see a tight game here. The premier buy hat, never having been worn on this show. Beautiful Cubs blue. Go Cubs go in Chicago. The buy hat is engaged. And guys, I've been wearing a White Sox hat for months. Feels good. We love Chicago baseball. It's a beautiful afternoon here to close July, and I think the Cubs will take care of business. And Mike, you talk about the under. I think the under could get there because the Yankees just cannot hit without Aaron Judge in the lineup. And it's further exacerbated. Clearly no Giancarlo Stanton for a while now, but also Cody Bellinger. This team has no pop. You saw it yesterday, 0-0 through 9. Didn't score the previous night either. When you lose back-to-back games by Cam Schlittler and Ryan Weathers, where the two guys are both complete aces and you can do absolutely nothing, it doesn't get any better this afternoon against Shota Imanaga. Imanaga is in great form. And, Mike, when I was looking at this before, I had to remind myself, Imanaga actually looked absolutely terrible, incomprehensibly bad between May 18th and June 4th. He actually gave up 12 home runs, 26 earned runs in 21 and 2/3 innings pitched in a 4-game stretch. I've written down here, literally, what on earth? I don't know what happened to the guy. It's like he had food poisoning for about a month. But this guy's an ace quality pitcher. He's crafty. He's a lefty. He's got a ton of movement. He has found it since. Only 3 earned runs against in July. This is top form Imanaga. He will shove. And final point on this, Will Warren started the season 7-0 on the road. Guys, Will Warren is not a top-end rotation pitcher. 7-0 is way too hot. He is 1-3 since. Got absolutely rocked on Sunday Night Baseball at the Phillies 11-4. It doesn't get any easier here. I see a blowout coming this afternoon, Mike. I could see an under as well. I think somewhere in the range of 6-1, 7-1 Cubs. The buy hat is engaged. It's a beautiful print. I'll say it again. Let's sing this song before and after the Cubs win. Go Cubs go. Go Cubs go. Hey Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today. Mike, the vibes are up. Anything else in this game?
Nope. You got to hit the thumbs up button for my guy Shark, giving you a little of that Chicago, look at that little medley out there, man. I mean, vocal excellence here on a Friday for everybody out there. So smash that thumbs up button. Appreciate everybody that's here rocking with us. I see you guys in the chat. Robert McCormick's first guy in here rocking and rolling with the Stop Geoengineering. Speaking of Chicago, there's Chicago Joe in the house. What up? Let's go, you guys. Jonathan Rodriguez checking in. Says, let's get this money on a not-so-casual Friday. Respect, man. Robert McCormick likes the Cubs' first 5. Stop Geo says, locked in since last night. 1 unit on the Cubbies. No bat in the 9th inning. Razor Sharp Picks is checking in here as well, you guys. Stop Geoengineering says, Yanks have lost 7 of their last 8 day games against the NL Central. Good insight there. And Robert McCormick says, I went to a matinee game last year at Wrigley. Dude, that would be a spot that I would want to catch out a game. Absolutely. Shark, pop the top on a frosty beverage. Get your bet slip in. Mine would be on the Yankees, but you would have the Cubs, and we'd be sitting there having a lot of fun going back and forth bantering.
Yeah, absolutely. You seem to like these contrarian Yankees. I just think the Yankees can't hit. The lineup is absolutely good. I actually made a comment on X yesterday, and I said the Yankees without Aaron Judge is like the Golden State Warriors without Stephen Curry. He is that important to this lineup. So there's no Steph with the Warriors. There's no Judge here. And the Judge says the Cubs will bear down in Chicago this afternoon. Moving on to the night card, guys. We got a beautiful night card here on this Friday. First game in the evening slate. We're going to Cincinnati. Game 2, divisional baseball, NL Central. Pirates at Reds. Mike, when I was handicapping this morning, I took a quick breath and I smiled and I said, "Oh, this is going to be a good show." Paul Skeens is on the bump tonight. What's going on here?
It's my guy, right? I mean, come on. This is, you know when to hold him, know when to fold him here. One of the things that has been profit city for us with Paul Skeens are strikeout props. So I don't see any reason not to go back and attack a 7.5. Some guys at 7.5 with plus money scare the shit out of me. Not Paul Skeens, man. He's sitting around minus 130 over 7.5 strikeouts. And he what? Excuse me. He posted an 11 spot the other day. So fully competent and capable. But I think today we back Paul Skeens. Look, as crazy as that may sound in this current environment out there, I just think the Reds are one of them little squirrely spots here. They strike out at a 25.3% rate. That makes them one of the higher strikeout teams on the board. And so early struggle, late finish here. And, the Pirates certainly disappointing. Yesterday was a disappointment for this Pirate squad here, but I think they find a way to get it right today. I think they bounce back and get a nice little price tag to back Paul Skeens here. I'm not Skeens guy at minus 200, and I don't always fade Skeens. I look for the spots to be judicious in where I put my money. And today I want to put my money on these Pirates.
Yeah, I haven't gotten there yet, honestly. Skeens for me is just a tough cap. I mean, we saw him lose, like 9 straight games? That should never happen for a pitcher of this quality. The bats are just very inconsistent with this guy. And I think Hunter Green's going to pitch well. He's coming off a bad start. The only other time this year he's gotten really rocked, he did have a home start in the division against the Cubs where he was completely in control, a shutout game. So I think Green and Skeens will both shove in this game. Under in play potentially. But I do think one thing that really does bring me to the Skeens side of this game potentially is last year, final start of the year actually for Paul Skeens, Wednesday, September 24th, was a road game at Cincinnati. He did catch a win, 4-3 in 11 innings, directly heads up against Hunter Green. 0 earned runs in the game. And I think Skeens will be locked in. I think it's one-on-one. I think it's a little mano-y-mano here. It's ace 1, ace 2. And as we said when we did debate the structure of the Reds staff, Green has not performed to the 1, but his prototype is 1. 6'5", 255. The guy is an absolute horse. I see if pitchers do. I think Skeens will shove. Skeens actually did get rocked the last time he faced Cincinnati against Andrew Abbott. He will be pissed off. He'll be ready to go. Mike, I have a hat next to me. I need to transfuse the hat through the screen, and you can put on a nice little Pittsburgh hat over there. But the buy hat would be engaged for Mike. Pittsburgh, get it done, Paul Skeens. We trust and we believe on a Friday night. Take the Pirates and let's cash. Keeping it moving down the line here. Next game on the card, series opener tonight in Baltimore. Phillies-Orioles, interleague baseball. Interesting stuff here. Brandon Young on the bump against, I believe, Andrew Painter. I could be wrong on that. Seems like it's moving around right now. Mike, trying to figure out the pitching situation here. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I think that it's a great opportunity to shout all you guys out in the chat for rocking with us. Robert McCormick was commenting. He said he saw that matinee game at Wrigley and later saw a Fish concert. But he likes the over 8 in that spot there. Stop Geo on the Pirates. Says Reds have lost 8 home games in a row following a win the previous day. That's such a great stat. You dissect that thing a little bit and you look at it and it tells you they just can't stack them up. That makes a lot of sense when you think about the dynamic and makeup of that roster, Shark. But look, Philly and Baltimore, and it's telling that Baltimore is a small favorite, regardless of who the Phillies throw out there. I like it. I think it's fine. You just got nuked by the Marlins. That's not a place you want to be, especially this team's been on the struggle bus since, coming out of the All-Star break. So I'm good to fade them. I'm going to take Baltimore in this spot. I think it's a nice little opportunity to just do what the line's telling you at this point. And really, I didn't take much more than that. We don't know who's pitching, so it's obviously hard to get too excited about what's going on there on this side of things here. But telling that the line is where it is, and I think it's for a reason. So I'll go with it. I'll back them. I think it's a good spot.
Yeah, you said opportunity to, I'll fill in the blank. It's an opportunity to dominate. We're taking the Orioles in this game. It's a great spot. It's a very similar conversation to a conversation we had on this show, or maybe it was, I don't know, it was the weekend, but I had a conversation with somebody. The last time Brandon Young pitched at home, he pitched against an opponent from the National League East. It was the Atlanta Braves, slightly higher grade at this point than the Phillies, and he won the game 3-2. And we talked about this at one point with this guy. I just said blanketly, old school shark, going back 10 years ago, I'd just look at this game and I'd say the Orioles shouldn't be laying juice to the Phillies, given the records. The Orioles are under 500, 53 and 56. Phillies are 5 over. Phillies should be a small favorite. So the books know something here. It's a stinky line. And this guy, Brandon Young, he has really skyrocketed in his quality for the Orioles this year. This guy last year, kind of pedestrian, very inconsistent, almost threw a no-hitter last year, I believe, just for calling off the top of my head. But look at this guy this year. He barely loses any games. He's 4-0 this month. He's 2-0 last two at home. He's only given up 4 earned runs in 13 1/3 home innings this month. He did sweep May. What does that have to do with July? Well, it was 5 starts, and he had the opportunity to sweep May with a home start to close against Toronto as a small favorite, and he did win, which is precisely what this is tonight. And I think if Painter goes, which I did see earlier on one of the books, Painter is pedestrian. He is young. He is fatiguing. I believe he's coming off the IL, first start back in a while. And Mike, as you said, you want to sell the Phillies. You know, they just got swept. They got swept in egregious fashion, too. They were up 6-0 with Luzardo on the bump, give up 8 unanswered runs. You come back here off a day off. You don't go back to Philly and reset. You stay in a hotel, interleague in Baltimore. It's a terrible spot for the Phillies. And Bryce Harper making some pretty cryptic quotes about the trade deadline, saying we need parts. When your best player is saying we need parts, that's not instilling confidence in the clubhouse at all. It's going to be a great spot for Baltimore tonight. I don't have the hat with me, although I do own one. Take Baltimore and let's cash. Keeping it moving down the line here. More interleague baseball. Going north of the border tonight, the 707 is back in the 6th. Cardinals, Blue Jays. Kyle Leahy at Dylan Cease. Mike, this is your classic once-a-year series. These teams rarely ever play. They are certainly not rivals. Cease laying a big number. What's going on here?
Shout out to Stop Geoengineering. He says, grab the Orioles -115. Says you can get a -110 on Hard Rock right now. Philly's been poop lately. Lost 7 of their last 8. As they sure have, my guy. Appreciate you guys. All you guys in the community. Drop your plays in the chat for us here. We want to see what you guys are on, as well as we know what we're playing. We want to see what you guys are playing out there and see if we can't find a way to get some W's on the card here today. I'm gonna take a shot with the Toronto run line here. A couple things I'm looking at. One, St. Louis is the fade spot. I told you guys of the few rare afternoon W's yesterday. I told you it was a Cubs spot. We've zigzagged. We went Cubs, St. Louis, Cubs. Everybody hated it. We cashed on it. Thank goodness, too, because those 1-run losses were disgusting here. But Cease, Toronto, best pitcher, big run line, small total. Run line for this Toronto squad makes a lot of sense in this case here. I think they find a way to bounce back and get right. It's a +135. And I think that's a great tag, to be honest with you. Big money spot. Fade this Cardinals team traveling north of the border. You're in the 6. You're about to get dished on here, and Toronto and Cease get the job done.
Yeah, big number. What's the run line? Like +100 or something like that?
No, +133.
Oh, beautiful. Great number. I honestly would lean that direction. Have not gotten there. Wasn't looking at the run line. This guy Leahy kind of reminds me a little bit of guys like Peter Lambert. He's 29. He's kind of bounced around. He's been sort of representative in these spots. I do agree with selling the Cardinals coming off that series yesterday. Obviously going to extras against their rival, the Cubs. But I don't have anything in this one. We'll defer to Mike in this one. Take Toronto -1.5 and keeping it moving here. Next game on the card, more interleague baseball. Going to Cleveland, Diamondbacks, Guardians, game 1. Max or Matt, what is this? Mitch. How many names that start with M? Mitch Bratt at Tanner Bybee. Mike, this is yet another 1-of-1 series for the year. What's going on here?
I'll lean to the over in this game. You know, it's not my favorite spot on the card here, but I mean, look, it's got to be a Cleveland or nothing spot for me in this game here. And the line validates that. You got 69% of the bets, 58% of the cash with Bybee. I think Arizona's probably in tax city mode right now. They've been traveling. They've been spending a lot of time here on the East Coast. They're kind of just bobbing around, kind of made that little triangle between Pennsylvania. Now they're finishing it off here with Cleveland, and Bybee should go and fire. But do you want to pay minus? I mean, I guess minus 127 is not bad, but I think this is just a lazy, doesn't make a lot of sense type of game. Bybee, we know, gives up a lot of runs, and frankly, you look at the spot on the season here, and the Diamondbacks, if they kind of had a lower scoring game, find a way to put some numbers on the board the following game if the starter's kind of a pile, and that's what we're dealing with here. So I'll go to the over. I'll take the over 8.5 minus 108 with a lean to Cleveland as well.
Yeah, you said minus 127. I totally agree. The buy hat is engaged. Great spot here for Cleveland. This is just a continuing conversation with Arizona in this window. A lot of movement, a lot of travel. I think it's going to catch up to them this series specifically. As we've detailed numerous times, had to play last week a one-off rescheduled game at St. Louis, then at Washington, at Pittsburgh. Off day yesterday, 2 straight wins. So I think they're too hot. I think it's fatigue, but also it's an environmental shift here. This is interleague play. So this is not a rival. There's not a lot of matchup data, but you get a good spot to fade this pitcher, Mitch Brad. I was looking him up before. He's a lefty. He's Canadian. He's in his rookie season. His numbers are absolutely terrible. On the road, small window for this guy, 11 innings, 12 hits, and 10 walks. Classic rookie pitcher who's not overpowering. He's trying to paint the corners. He's too cute. There's going to be a lot of free passes issued in this game, and the Guardians lineup will tee off. 7.36 ERA on the road. Not only that, this is the continued conversation with Tanner Bybee. Tanner Bybee somehow, I don't know how, started this season 0-8 straight up. He's 2-2 since. So when you see a guy of this quality really have a clustered outlier, very similar to Paul Skeens, actually, a clustered outlier losing streak, when they catch momentum, you continue to buy. And in terms of the matchup data here, nice stuff for us. Tanner Bybee actually did pitch on the road last year at Arizona. 1-run loss against Eddie Rodriguez in Phoenix. He pitched reasonably well in the game. He got into the 6th inning. 1-run loss. Key point, though, Arizona was favored in the game, minus 125. So the books did get it right. They liked the home environment for the Diamondbacks versus Bybee. Heavy move here to Cleveland. It's a strong spot. It's a Bybee revenge game. It's a buy low in the market for Bybee and selling Mitch Bratt on the road. Great spot here. The chat seems to like it as well. Our guy 9 Legacy says Guardians run line. Robert says Guardians first 5. I wouldn't disagree. I think Bratt will get hit early and often. And there is a lot of access here. That is that for that one. And let's keep it moving. Next game on the card. Done with a little interleague cluster there. We're going intra-league baseball here. AL baseball. Tonight at the Trop, White Sox at Rays. Second series of the year. These teams actually did play way back in April in Chicago. And the Rays did sweep the White Sox, all wins by margin. I was looking at this before and I thought to myself, here we are again, the skyrocketing upward momentum of the White Sox. We didn't know who they were back then. We know who they are now. Mike, what's going on here tonight?
Boy, but they had extra innings. They had the Yankees. They had travel, and now they're going on the road to play this Tampa Bay spot. This is a terrible spot for the White Sox. But then you look at the number, and why the hell is Tampa Bay minus 132? Everybody is betting on Martinez at home with 83% of the bets and 87% of the cash. That scares the hell out of me. Frankly, I'd like to take the White Sox, but to me, White Sox are plus 133. That was the same rough range that I was taking the Texas Rangers at. And I think the Rangers are in a better position than the White Sox in this case. So I'll just go to the under. I'll say this is another low scoring affair. You know, Fetty and Martinez, they go out there and have a little pitcher's battle here. 8.5 at minus 113 is a fair price. I would lean to the White Sox, honestly. I looked at Nick Martinez. You know, the thing about it too, for this guy being such a stud, his price to catch the win is a plus 165. Like some of these guys are minus 110s, minus 105s, plus 105s out there. This number's a little bloated for such a stud on the bump here in Nick Martinez. So this is a challenging little spot that I'll lean to the under.
Yeah, very interesting dynamic here, but one solution, the buy hat is engaged. We're going straight back to the source, Mike, and You said the market's moving and it's short. Maybe they've been listening to the show because we were way ahead of the market in the White Sox conversation this year. I mean, I truly believe you and I both, and obviously me purchasing this hat, we saw something before most of the market with this White Sox team. And, when you really try to unpack this, both pitchers are hot in this matchup. Fetty's 5-0 last 5, 4-0 in July. And Martinez is 6-0 last 6. 4-0 in July himself, scorching hot too, barely gives up any runs. Here's where I think there's a market cap on Nick Martinez. Friendly reminder, guys, Martinez is a journeyman. He's a converted reliever. He's traveled around. He's been on 3 or 4 teams in the last 4 years. He's just going to cap out at some point. People would say the same thing about Fetty, also a journeyman, also in his 30s. But I think the White Sox just back Fetty more than the Rays back Martinez. And when you look at the line at 8.5 here, kind of a high line for these pitchers. I think what they're telling you here is the White Sox are going to get to Martinez. The last start Fetty did have at the American League East, same line range. He was actually a dog at the Orioles on a Tuesday night in June. The White Sox did win the game 9-3 and really explode on rookie pitcher for the Orioles, Trey Gibson. And Mike, you talk about the shortness of the line. The Orioles in that game with Trey Gibson were favored -143. Friendly reminder, guys, the Rays are the best team in the American League. So do some math with me here. Why are the Rays laying less to this pitcher and this team than the Orioles were less than a month ago with a rookie pitcher? This is a stinky line, guys. This is a really short spot for the Rays. I think the Rays are market capped. I think the White Sox will come up with emphasis. And final point on it, Mike, we said this yesterday in terms of the White Sox off of extra innings games. This is just where they continue momentum. They're a young team. They got a lot of juice. They're 5-1 this year off an extra innings win. So when they win, they keep going. And it's a great spot tonight. Take the White Sox, guys, and let's cash. Guys in the chat says Rays 9 wins in a row in night games after playing the previous day. Interesting stuff. I mean, truthfully, great content from the chat. If you guys are in the chat, drop more content with us. I will say this, though. The books see something different. The books see White Sox here tonight. Take the White Sox and let's cash. Keeping it moving down the line here. Divisional baseball in Queens tonight. Game 2 of this series. Marlins at Mets. Jansen Junk at Freddie Peralta. Mike, you talk about a good read last night. You gave him the McLeans, and he came through again. Now you get the Peralta version of the Mets. Can they keep it going tonight?
Sure. Yeah. Junk's junk. I mean, look, you earn your nicknames around here. That's not a nickname. That's a real name here. I'll say this, though, just from a fair trend perspective here. After and under, the Mets are garbage in game 2. And that's not just this season. That stretches back over their last 5. So 80 and 49. I think one of the best things to do is talk about the teams that are a big asterisk as we look at trade deadline, like a Tampa Bay White Sox. Those guys are probably acquiring parts, but I think the Mets are selling parts. Chop shop, baby. So be careful with these Mets. I don't care so much about pitching. We know Soto's probably not in the lineup, so that does scare me a little bit. But I think this is another under spot on the card here. Should be a good under day. I'm hoping it's a good under day. Get them juice balls and put them away here. But I like the Mets. I think it's a fair price tag. I think that this team was so bad for so long that just market wise, they have to shift back. And not to say they're due. It's just, look, one of those spots. The Marlins were so hot for so long. They got their big wins against the Phillies. We talked about it yesterday. Now there's a little fatigue factor coming in there. And I think it rolls out here against this Mets team. And I think Peralta and company can go and smash. So I like the first 5. Peralta, by the way, if you make him a favorite, less than a -170. So not expecting a blowout, right? But this guy does go on deliver. This is probably a good Peralta catches the win spot. If it wasn't for the Mets being notorious for shit in the bed mid-form, I'd probably look at that opportunity here. But I'll take the Mets. I like the Mets in this case. I think they're getting some good action here. 71% of the bets like them, only 46% of the cash, but this is one of them oscillating lines, Shark. The Mets went from -130 to -122, but the Marlins went from +109 to +115. So some head fake movement here from the books. I think it's a New York Mets spot.
Yeah, I agree. Mets official play. And, you talk about this guy Junk on the road. He's been absolutely terrible. His ERA on the road is 6.31. He's also a better daytime pitcher. ERA daytime 3.92, night 5.26. So this is just great stuff. Fade him at night, fade him on the road. And you look at Peralta here, Mike, I think psychologically this is actually a really good spot to buy Freddie. He might get traded. And if he gets traded, he will be traded in the next 3 days. So what is that? It's two things. Bit of a swan song and also an audition. I think this will fire this guy up. I think he wants to set the table going to another team with a good start and say, hey, look, I kind of floundered around with the Mets a little bit. It was probably a funky clubhouse dynamic. The manager got fired. I'm ready to go. You, as a pitcher, particularly an ace quality pitcher, you do not want to get traded having gotten shelled in your previous start for the previous team. So I think psychologically you're going to get a game from Freddie tonight. And in terms of the actual matchup data, third start of the year for Freddie against the Marlins, he actually has not pitched great. He's given up 4 earned runs twice to this Miami lineup, but the favorite in the matchup is 2-0. So we're really kind of handicapping the full 40-man roster here, more so than just the pitchers. If the Mets are favored against the Marlins and Peralta's involved, they win. The last time they did win, it was a crazy one, 9-7, also on a Friday night in Queens, May the 29th. But guys, guess what? Cash is cash. You don't need to win 1-0 in an hour. You could win a crazy one and cash. The Mets are going to win this game. It's a great spot. Take the Mets and let's cash. The chat seems to be alongside it as well. Robert says Mets for me, and Legacy says Metropolitan. I like it. With authority. Let's keep it moving. Next game on the card. Divisional baseball, more divisional baseball, back-to-back within this division. Nats-Braves game 2 in Atlanta, 7:15 Truist Park. Foster Griffin on the bump at Bryce Elder. Mike, last night we tried to take the Nats. That game really pissed me off. I'm not going to lie. When you look at the box score of that game, Jake Irvin gave up 5 runs on 5 base runners. Guys, that's 100% cross the plate rate for the Braves. Not supposed to do that. Bit of an outlier. If everybody scored in the history of baseball that got on base, there would be 10 million runs per season. Anyway, Mike, Griffin on the bump tonight. What's going on here?
Yeah, I love an under again in this spot. This is the under stadium of the fucking world right now. And it's earned its right. I mean, we'll talk about the under and why it makes sense for the Colorado game later on here with that big 11 that's pegged on this thing. But I think this is a good spot. You saw 9s. It's coming down to 8.5. So I totally get that line movement here. I'm a little perplexed by this line. So Foster Griffin's a beast, right? 17-4 in his starts this season. The Nationals are his first 5. Look, you lay the run line. It's -1.5. It's -0.5 for +115s, +120s. But then you look at the full game and it's +108 for them to win the game. So the books are saying the bullpen's going to shit the bed, but Griffin has a big start. I don't disagree with that. I think both pitchers can go out there and find, success. I think that the opportunity here with this under stadium shows us that the 9's still in play. I'd probably parlay the Nationals in the under 9. But I think you can get away with a couple different ways to play this game. I'm going to take the Nats first 5 -0.5. It's going to be +115.
Yeah, I'm totally aligned. I got the Nats for the game +108. I think the Nats bounce back here. And again, going back to last night, if you look at that game, I mean, the Braves really just hit a cluster of home runs. That was it. And it was kind of the Jake Irvin special. It's what he does. Gives up home runs, not much else. Griffin's going to be locked in here tonight. Not only that, Griffin's 2-0 already against Atlanta this year. It's very sustainable. Caught a home win, 11-4. Just a complete blowout. Very limited runners on base in that one. 1.0 whip in the game. And he actually got better pitching road at this stadium on a Sunday, May the 24th. 2-1 win. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, 0 runs. Griffin is the gift that keeps on giving. You find a guy like this, you do not sell ever. And I think Bryce Elder is a little too hot here. He's been inconsistent at home. He actually did catch a home win against the Nats going back in this same time window. Very, very unconvincing, if I'm going to be honest. 5-4 in extra innings. And you talk about the line here, Mike. Elder this year has been favored on the road at Washington, -171. And he was favored at home, -219. So this is a 97-point line move down against him. What that indicates for me, of course, it's not always going to happen in baseball with the craziness of this sport, but I see alt run line coming here for Washington. I think they could win this game by some margin. Love the Nats tonight, guys. Take the Nats and let's cash. Our guy says Nats money line. If anybody else is in the chat, if you guys are hanging out, say hello to us. We want to get the conversation ramped up as much as possible. And let's keep it moving. Next game on the card, going slightly later, the 8 o'clock window on tonight's card, Apple TV National, Rangers-Astros weekend series in the division in Houston. Nathan Eovaldi at Hunter Brown. Mike, I was looking at this one. Seems like every time we talk AL West, it's like I should just pull out my wallet and flip a quarter up in the air. What do you think about this game?
I think, listen, I'm a Texas guy. You heard me talk about I can't believe I'm actually saying that out loud that I like to back the Rangers here, but I just have this, I don't want to say it's a sneaky suspicion. I mean, it's foundational in the fact that Texas, their bats, especially on the road, they bomb it. They're out there cooking. Now they struggled. Terrible. Can't find a way to catch that win against Tampa Bay, but this one's for the gusto, man. This is a big spot out there, and I'm okay with fading Hunter Brown in this case here. There's some guys I want to back, and there's some guys that I really don't. And Hunter Brown, for what it's worth, I think this guy, he pitched 7 innings against the White Sox, 7 strikeouts. That's a good spot after kind of a peak on the season to fade him in the follow-up situation. So I'll take the Texas Rangers. Not a lot of love for this Houston Astros squad the second half of the season. I think they're just one of them teams that's kind of peaked. Shout out home run video from MMA Jeff the other day. He gave you guys the Pena home run spot there that came through. So you got to respect it. I've seen Altuve. I've seen Yordan Alvarez, and I've seen Pena put some ball to bat. But I think I'll take Texas. I think it's a good spot to jump in on the Rangers tonight. And again, nice plus money price tag for them.
Yeah, tough game for me. Just, looking at the standings here in this division, you got the Rangers leading the division, 1 game over 500, 55 and 54. You got the Astros dead 500, 55 and 55. And then you got the Mariners 2.5 back, 53 and 57. So bottom line is, guys, we're going to be talking about this for the next 2 months. These teams playing each other, it's just, as I said, flip a coin. Mike, I trust your analysis. I mean, that's the bottom line. However, I do think when these teams play each other, we saw it last week involving Texas too. When they played Seattle, it was just like every game was just insanity. That all being said, Mike likes Texas. I think Eovaldi's obviously always solid. Take Texas and let's cash. Next game on the card, 8:40 in Colorado. That is 6:40 Mountain Time, Coors Field. Weekend series, Royals at Rockies. Mike, the beauty of sports betting at its finest. Nobody on earth wants to watch this game outside of the most diehard Royals fans down in Missouri and maybe some drunk assholes in Denver wishing it was a Broncos playoff game. That all being said, we get to bet sports. It's MLB bases loaded, and there's good sides in this game. Talk to me on this one.
Yeah, I feel like this number is a little high considering, Kansas City, epic melt. 2 of 3 games, they lost them both in the bottom of the 9th inning. What do you say? I mean, shit, they had 2 outs and 2 strikes on I think both days they lost those games out there. So I just don't think it travels well. I think I don't want to take Sagano in Colorado because it's not enough of a price tag. Right now you're catching them literally at even money. It's probably the right play though. I mean, you got 46% of the bets and 67% of the cash, sitting there on this Sagano side of things here, but I see 11.5s. The thing about that is I feel like it's head fakey. What I mean by that is you got 79% of the bets and 69% of the cash on the 11, right? And the books know how people read these lines. They look at them and say, oh, all that money and the line's not moving. Well, so they'll move 11.5. That's where the head fake comes into play because when you look at the 11.5, it's plus 117. So really the money, even though they're showing 11.5s in the marketplace, they're bullshit moves because what they're showing you is what they think you want to see. And I don't want to see that. I'll take the under. Under 11 is minus 104. And if the push comes into play, so be it. So I know it's Coors and it's a scary number, but fucking Rockies can't put that bat to ball. So, and we saw it Kansas City, rather, the Royals against that Minnesota series. So, yeah, Can't scratch wins across the finish line. Can't win the game. I don't want to fade Kansas City, but I don't want to take the over in this game here. I'll go with the under 11.
I do want to fade Kansas City. This is a great spot for Colorado. If you look at where Kansas City is on their calendar, this might be the worst spot of their entire season. This is the eighth game of a long road trip. They played 4 at Detroit, all tight games, all one-run games. Then they just played 3 at Minnesota, 2 out of 3 by 1 run. So they just played 6 out of 7 road games in the division, all by 1 run. Guys, what does that mean? Attrition, fatigue, emotional fatigue. You're playing your rivals down to the wire for a week straight. And it gets even more emphasized by how yesterday's game played out. Bottom 9th inning yesterday. I had the Twins, and I know Razor had the Twins, so shout out to us. I was feeling some vibes. I know Mike wasn't feeling the vibe, but
terrible.
Bases loaded, bottom 9, middle of the afternoon yesterday on a Thursday. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Can we get something going? Little did I know, the son of Roger Clemens, Cody Clemens, was going to come to the plate and hit a 2-out, 2-strike walk-off grand slam. So you're the Royals. You had the game in hand, and you blow it in the most epic possible fashion. Guys, do some psychological analysis with me. Do you get on a plane and fly to Colorado to play an interleague bum team and get fired up on yourselves? No. This is funeral status, and books agree. Last year, Kansas City swept the Rockies at home in this one-off series. And Mike, last year, Kansas City was favored minus 247, minus 288, and even Michael Lorenzen last year pitching for the Royals was favored minus 198. Guys, if Colorado's favored, let your eyes light up. And final point on this, Tomoyuki Sugano is a home pitcher. The guy's 6-2 at home. And Mike and I have said this before. If there was ever a good pitcher to buy, if you are the general manager for the Rockies, it is a 36-year-old guy from Japan. They adjust better. He got to this point in his career because he performs well in uncomfortable environments, and that is Coors Field. He will shove tonight. I think you could see a blowout here. Waka's actually 0-4 on the road at the National League as well. Guys, this is going to be a multi-unit play for me. I think the Rockies laid the hammer tonight. Take it and let's cash. And Mike, we got a video. Appreciation is appreciated, guys. If you haven't dropped a like yet, you had 43 minutes to do it. Here's your chance. Backdoor the show. It feels good to backdoor a wager. Just asked Cody Clemens yesterday. Guys, be Cody Clemens right now. Backdoor the show. Click the like. And let's keep it moving. 5 night games tonight. Big dog stuff here. 9:38 in Los Angeles. Milwaukee traveling to the Angels. Another interleague series where these teams really do not have much of a rivalry. Mike, we thought Drohan was going to pitch the other day. They pulled him, and they got blown out 16-3. Now he comes back on a heavy line. Do the Brewers wake up tonight in Los Angeles?
Remember the Drohan. Underrated Adam Sandler movie, I think. Now, we're not talking Little Nicky. We're talking Remember the Zohan. You know that? That was, did you see that one?
Long time ago, yeah.
It was all right. Shout out to Sloan from Entourage in there, looking good as ever. But listen, way too much action on this Brewers team right now. This team is definitely one of them teams that's looking to acquire pieces. They even said they were in the Scooble sweepstakes. I don't know if that's going to happen or not here, but if they picked up Mason Miller, that would be savage. Everyone's in trouble because they play pretty good 8-inning baseball. 90% of the bets, 96% of the cash, however, are on the Brew Crew. This line's come down 14 cents. That should scare now the question is, can they win by 3 runs? Because minus 1.5 is sitting around minus 105. So you got to turn that into minus 2.5 to be plus money. And this Angels team to me has been anemic. They can't seem to, I told you guys the other day, for all the other reasons that we talked about there, I'm not a Mike Trout guy, but I'm going to go to the over today. I suspect that we see runs of flying. Ryan Johnson certainly doesn't strike fear in batting perspective out there. His July sucked. 4 starts, almost a 7.5 ERA. He gave up 19 hits. He gave up 5 home runs, 8 walks, and he only pitched in 17 innings. So that's a bad spot to be offensively if you're the Los Angeles Angels. You got a lot of work to do to overcome. And, then you get guys on the other side like Bryce Terang. I like the Bryce Terang hits, runs, RBI prop here. Over 2.5 sits at plus 125. I think that's a good price. I think you look at the RBI for this guy as well. In a spot where I see runs, especially with a meatball and Johnson on the other side of thing, throwing slow pitch underhand softballs like it's a fucking rec league. It's a bad situation. So plus 152 on the Terang RBI price is a great spot as well. And I think you man up, take the over 9. It's like plus 110. I think that's a good spot to be involved with here for this game. So I like runs. Give me runs in this Angels Brewers matchup.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. Our guy in the chat says Brewers run line public winner today. I would agree. This guy, Ryan Johnson, is just not the guy. He's a rookie. He's inconsistent. He's inflated in every possible metric point. And Drohan is a buy pitcher. I might get there. Milwaukee's the side. And we will keep it moving. Next game on the card, 9:40 in Sacramento. Going back here, Tigers opening up a weekend series at Sutter Health Park. Casey Mize at Jeffrey Springs. Interesting game here. Springs actually did just pitch against the Tigers on the road, take a loss. Mike, can he get any revenge tonight?
I hate this game. I hate everything about this game for a bunch of reasons. The Athletics just played really well against the Red Sox. The Red Sox will take the bat we'll talk about that one shortly. Detroit should be sellers. I wouldn't even be surprised if somehow this game's at 9:40. There's a lot of time to go out there before they make the phone call and Mize gets traded. Mize and Skubal are out of Detroit. So to me, that seems like it's inevitable. And then obviously you're going to have some bats that have to go along with it to package it up because of the King's ransom that's going to be demanded here. But this is just an ugly game. I'm not laying 143. This number, by the way, it's come way down. So 88% of the bets and 90% of the cash have looked at this thing and said the Athletics have no chance. Yet the lines come down 20 cents. So it's Athletics or pass for me, and I'll pass right now.
Yeah, also Mize is not listed anymore. I just checked. So
did he just get fucking traded as we're doing the show?
I don't know if he got traded, but he's not listed. So it's an unknown pitcher for Detroit here. So so that's also probably part of the line move down. They have no idea who's pitching. Tough game. Really tough game. Guys, one thing I would say, Robert says in the chat, over. They just went 4-0 to the under versus the Red Sox. The Red Sox bats just completely fell apart in this park. Whenever you find a nice little 4-0 sample to the under involving Sutter Health Park, I think you could blindly take the over. And I think Detroit's bats have just been wild recently. Mike, you remember the last series against the Orioles? It seemed like every game was like a college baseball game, like 10-9, like 12, like just insane. The Detroit bats are hot. Jeffrey Springs will get shelled. The over would be the best look in this game for me. And let's keep it moving. Next game on the card, 9:45 in San Diego. Game 2 of this series, Giants-Padres, NL West baseball here. Carson Whisenhunt at Bradley Rodriguez. Looks like a bullpen game for the Padres. Mike, we kind of punted this one yesterday. This is really a tough series for me, at least. What do you think?
Yeah, I hammered that under yesterday. I told you guys take that under in that spot. It was a fucking grand slam banger for me out there. It was scary a little bit too because it was like 4-1 in the third inning. So it was like, oh shit. And it came through as I expected. Mason, look, they like to go unders. I think this is probably another one of them spots, where you see these two guys here, lefty situations on top of it. The Giants can't hit. They showed us that, exemplified that yesterday out there. Padres unders with lefties. They can't hit them either. I mean, these two guys definitely are scary when you think about pitching matchups are concerned here, but I'd have to play Padres or nothing on the side, but I think 8.5 is another spot we can get behind. I like the under.
Yeah, tough game for me. I really just do not like this series. Really limited data for Whisenhunt here. Only one road start. It was not divisional. He pitched at Atlanta on Wednesday, June 17th. Did catch a win, 7-5. High upside pitcher. He's only 25 years old. Good numbers. Tough game, Mike. Under, you said?
I like the under. Yep. 8.5 even money.
Take the under and let's cash. Keeping it moving down the line. 2 late night games here tonight. Two really, I think, pretty interesting games. Red Sox at Dodgers, 10-10 in Los Angeles. Ranger Suarez, that what looks like a bullpen game for the Dodgers. Enrique Enriquez, is that the name? It's Edgardo Enriquez, 24-year-old right-hander from Venezuela. Mike, Red Sox kind of laid down in Northern California. Do they awaken in Southern California tonight?
Yeah, I'll back the Red Sox tonight. Shout out to our guy JPZ in the chat. I know he thinks that the Dodgers are going to go out there and do some whooping here, but they certainly did. They looked all right. I mean, can't argue with Seattle. They found runs. They found offense. They understood what they were supposed to when they were supposed to here. But Suarez and Boston for me here, the entire world likes the Dodgers right now. I mean, 80% of the bets, almost 90% of the cash are on the Dodgers saying that. And so normally I'm an advocate of buying them low. This is one of them spots where that sneaky suspicion kicks in here. My spidey sense, if you will, that says this number's too low for the Dodgers, especially coming off of this Boston spot where they kind of look flat against the Athletics. Everyone was expecting all those games to go over, and they found out. First you fuck around, then you find out. And I'm not trying to fuck around with the Dodgers in this case here. I'm going to go Boston, ugly, but plus 117. I'll take it. I'll run with it, and probably not going to be a popular opinion.
It's popular with me. I have the Red Sox absolutely to win this game, and it's exactly what we've been saying here for the last minute plus. The Red Sox clearly just kind of looked ahead. They were playing in a minor league park. They were playing an uninspiring opponent. They knew they had Dodgers weekend series. So here they are tonight. You're going to see an uptick in their quality. And not only that, you're getting a nice spot to buy Suarez here. Friendly reminder, guys, Suarez season 1 with the Red Sox. He did pitch with the Phillies for the last handful of years. Go back to last year, 2 late season starts, both at this stadium. Chavez Ravine out in L.A. here. Caught a win in the regular season Monday night. It was 9:15. I believe that was a nice little Monday night football week 2 last year. He pitched well in the game. 6 innings, 3 earned runs, 6-5 win. And I think even more importantly, in the postseason on Wednesday, October 8th at the Dodgers, 8-2 win. 1 earned run, 5 innings, 72 pitches. So could have gone way deeper into that game. And only run came on a home run again. So this guy will be in total control. He shoves this year on the road at the National League. And final point on this, go back in small window recent history here. This dude is 5-0 last 5, road out of division, coming off a previous home game. He's coming off a game against the Blue Jays. He did win 6-1. When he travels road, this is not staying in a hotel. This is going directly to the source of his first road start. He will shove. I think the Dodgers are just kind of punting this game. A lot of injuries to the Dodgers staff. Ohtani clearly not pitching. Glasnow's been on the IL for a while. And, of course, Blake Snell as well. Just a lot of moving parts. Mike, you said it. This line is really short. You rarely ever see the Dodgers laying anything less than minus 150 at home. This is a line telling you the Red Sox are going to win this game. And, of course, we just told you every reason as to why the line is short. Great spot tonight for the Red Sox. Our guy in the chat, Robert, says, Red Sox money line, 9 legacy, Red Sox money line. If anybody else is on the Red Sox, type Red Sox, let's cash, and let's keep it moving. Final game on the card, 10-10 in Seattle. Twins, Mariners. Game 1 of this series, Zebby Matthews at Bryce Miller. Mike, we were talking about it before. Yesterday afternoon, Cody Clemens walk-off grand slam. We said that was flat for the Royals, traveling, getting away from that. The Twins get on a plane with that high, bit of a celebratory flight to Seattle. Do they continue momentum tonight in the Pacific Northwest?
No. There's no, fuck Minnesota. Fuck everybody. No disrespect. I was going to say fuck everybody that backed him, but I know you did. So respect you guys for that. But no, those were terrible wins. They were lucky to get those wins. It was Kansas City's bullpen that absolutely fucking sucks. And then on top of that, here's the problem you got. Seattle's at home. That division is competitive. It's wide open for business right now. And Texas and Houston, Seattle's got to be sitting back having popcorn, thinking, man, we're just watch what happens in this thing. These two teams are going to beat each other up, and then whoever comes out of that thing bloodied and beaten will take out for the division. That's what Seattle's got to be thinking right now. And so, yeah, the price makes sense that Seattle's this big a favorite. The question is, Well, how do you attack it? Because you're not going to make any money at minus 170s, right? So I thought a couple things. The last piece I want to mention was Seattle, by the way. No notes for this one. Zebby Matthews sucks. So they're not winning behind this dude. The one thing I'll say is it is a lower number. It is Seattle. What happens out there at night is we see a lot of lower scoring games. So I get that. I like the NRFI. I like a NRFI no run first inning at minus 120. I like Miller to get, minus 1.5. I looked at it. It's around plus 125 or so. For them to get that win, they got to come out early, and it's Matthews that I think they come out early on. So, Miller to catch the win is plus 145. And I like the Seattle first 5 in this case here. I would not be concerned about laying the half a run. Sitting around minus 115, minus 113s out there. I'm cool with that too. All those ways to play this game and watch Seattle beat the snot out of Matthews in Minnesota. What do you think?
I have the Twins in this game. And Mike, I think you might dislike the Twins more than any other team in the sport. Is that probably correct? Is that number one dislike team for you, the Twins?
No, I would say I'd have to give it some thought here to really think about who. I think I probably dislike the Diamondbacks more than anybody. And there's really no foundational proof. There's no reason behind it other than them and probably, I don't know, maybe the Pirates.
I can't stand the Padres. The Padres.
They're close.
Oh, God. Anyway, so I have the Twins in this game. And, as I said, you get on a plane after that. I think it's a big plane ride. I think you're excited. Not only that, it was a matinee. It's a late game. So you got a little extra time. The travel's not that bad. It's also not that far from Minnesota to Seattle for an out-of-division point. It's far better than these teams traveling east to west. I think if you look at the Mariners spot here, Mariners are not exactly in a comfortable spot either. They just played a series at the Dodgers late last night, taking a 6-2 loss. I gave you guys the Dodgers last night to clean up on Brian Wu. So you just played a big kind of playoff style series against the champs. Now you come home against the Twins. And Mike, the Seattle, as we detailed at the top 3 in the West, the conversation centers on mediocrity. Nobody's really dominant, which means psychologically the team doesn't have the ability to focus every single game. I think you're going to see a lack of focus here. But, speaking of focus, you talk about Zebby Matthews. Mike, when you made that comment about him, I was finally reminded that for some reason I've been able to get this guy right more than the average handicapper. I've given you guys a couple winners with this guy this year. And you know what he does?
Puke up runs everywhere?
He pitches specifically great road games at the West. So in this month alone in July, he's gotten shelled on the road twice. At the Cubs, that's interleague, and it was a matinee. And at the Yankees, also a weekend matinee. So weekend, interleague, and Yankees. But go back to June, 2 games at the West, both primetime games on weeknights. No problem. At Texas, 12-2 win, 2 earned runs in 7 innings. He did not labor, low pitch count. At Houston, Monday night, 629. Best start of the year, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 walk, 1 earned run on a solo shot in a win. And final point on this, you talk about him performing well at this division. Go back to last year. Matthews pitched at Seattle last year. He pitched great. The Twins won the game 12-6, and he was an underdog plus 200. So the books are moving us down towards him. He gave up 4 earned runs in that game. They were all in the bottom of the first inning, and they were on a 3-run home run by Cal Raleigh, followed up by Randy Arozarena. Friendly reminder, guys, Cal Raleigh is not teeing off at the rate he was last year. So we don't expect Raleigh to take Matthews deep tonight. And just finalizing, it was a very isolated cluster in the bottom of the first inning. He gave up 0 earned runs, innings 2 through 7. I think Matthews will be totally locked in tonight. I think it's a terrible spot for the Mariners. Mike, we will text about this overnight. I'm going to get some wine. I have extra innings in my house. I'll throw the game on. Maybe I'll call my friends that I don't even have in Minnesota and get a group call talking about some Adrian Peterson highlights. Zebby Matthews, come on, man. Mike,
here's what Zebby Matthews does. You talked about it, right? That Yankees game Well, what was the thing about that Yankees loss? The previous game, he went 7 innings. Then he puked his nuts up. Didn't even go 5. Follows it up. He goes 6 innings. Then he puked his nuts up. He went 3 innings. Gave it up. 10 runs in that Cubbies game. On the road, by the way. He just went 6 innings against the Athletics. Now he's back on the road. Dude, don't do it. Do as a friend. I'm asking you not to bet them. Don't put your money on the Twins tonight, please. I don't want to have to text you and give you the I told you so.
I'll throw it back to you after I just dropped this final point. The last 2 home games, the only 2 home games that Bryce Miller pitched this year on a Friday night, Friday, June 19th, he lost 6-2 versus Boston. Same thing, favored outside of the division against the American League. And Friday, July 17th, 7-0 loss against San Francisco. Labored in the game, same thing, favored -175. Mike, give me a final comment, and then we'll drop best bets.
Please don't do it. We can agree to disagree because we come back and rock every single day, you guys. We're in the middle of 162, as my guy Shark likes to say, and you know what you say about that is ride the wave, baby. Let's go. It's going to be a fun day, though. This is a great card, and I'm really looking forward to it. That was a great breakdown today across the spot. I'm going to take that first 5 -0.5 plus 115 for the Nationals. I'll take the White Sox. I'll take the under 8.5 in that game. Let's see. Let's see here. Boston Red Sox plus 117. I have a feeling we'll be in alignment with that thing. And I'll take the Rangers plus 113. I'll go back to them again, back to the hot stove, and I'll touch it again, full hand in. And then I'll give one more. I'll give you one more here. I'm going to go with that Paul Skeens over 7.5 strikeouts. There you go.
I like that. I'll have that game on early. I'll probably watch that one, and then I'll put the Twins game on for the nice Twins blowout later. Anyway, we're going afternoon baseball. I have the Cubs -148. That's about as high as I'll ever go with juice, so right around 150. Don't mind it. You saw it last night with the Dodgers, 4-run win. We're going Orioles -112. We're going White Sox plus 133. Guardians -132. Mets -122. Rockies plus 100. And Mike, we do align on the Red Sox day.
There you go. Let's get a parlay in us here. Let's go parlay action. Let's take that Toronto. Let's go with the Toronto spot. Just a money line for Toronto.
Sounds good. Do we want to go with the Brewers potentially?
No, I think they lose.
Really?
How about the Pirates? Can we take the Pirates?
Sounds good to me.
We're going to be watching that game anyways, you said.
Yeah.
I got a NRFI option for you, or what do you think about the over in that Brewers game?
I honestly didn't really look at that game in detail. I just thought the Brewers would draw in, would be efficient. But if you like it, I like it.
All right, let's go. We can get 8.5.
Sounds good.
Let's take that. Let's go Toronto, Pittsburgh, and the LA Angels over 8.5. You guys, that's how we're going to put a bow on this show, man. That was a lot of fun. This was a great week. You know, some real suspect games and results here, but that's what happens. And that's why we stay flat with our spots there. We tell you guys, just be consistent. My guy Shark always talks about managing the bankroll. And I think this weekend particularly, just be on the lookout for trade deadline movement, those moving parts that my guy Shark talks about. And you definitely have to be careful when it comes to betting it. Speaking of being careful, be careful, man. This is a wild weekend. We got a lot of UFC. We got some PFL this afternoon or this evening. We've got we're just a couple of short days away from the Hall of Fame game for baseball. So be careful with your bankrolls. I'll ask you guys this, to go out there and get a membership with the Sports Money Network if you haven't done so already. Gold level, man. We got a special first. I've been saying this for a long time, man. The UFC show that we put on, Shark, it's a long time. It's a lot. It's a 6-hour gauntlet, but nobody makes more money than we do. And the boys have finally heeded my suggestion. I said I'd make this a fucking pay-per-view show if I could because of what we put in terms of profit on the UFC. I build all week to fire on the UFC on Saturdays. And finally, for the first time in the Sports Money Network history, the main card, gold members or higher. We're going to have prelims. Everybody can join us for the prelims, but gold members or higher for the main card this Saturday. So get out there and upgrade if you guys haven't done so already. We're talking pennies on the dollar here to go out and get not to mention all the other games that go into it. So I'm excited for that, you guys. Christmas in July. It's the last day at Winnable to jump on board for 6 or 12 months. Use promo code XMASJuly. Get yourself 6-month package for I think it's like $100. And you'll ride with me. NBA, NHL, MLB, you name it. NFL, college football. We'll see what happens there. But I'm very excited about this upcoming fall season here. And the last thing I'll say, Shark, it's going to be New Graphic Monday, you guys. So get ready because we're going to continue to raise the bar and show everybody else why this is the best damn betting show on the planet. And a lot to do with you, my friend. So I'm excited. Looking forward to a big weekend.
Yeah, great show. And, you said it. But, you guys, this week was such a beautiful snapshot to just the craziness of baseball. And, that's just what we embrace when we take on this endeavor. You see games, they go back and forth. Always manage your bankroll, not only for your finances, but for your emotions. So you don't get too off center of yourself when things just inevitably get wild in baseball. But not a wild show, just a great show. Mike, a pleasure as always. We appreciate you guys in the chat on this Friday hanging out with us and every day. Please drop comments after the show underneath the video. It helps to bring people into the conversation and see the show that do not know where to find it. Mike's dropping all sorts of information. We got so much coming in the fall, guys. It's the final Friday of July. It's the last day of July. It's the last month without professional football until next March. The best times await us. We appreciate you guys truly beyond words. Have a great weekend. We will see you on Monday. That is it for this one. MLB Bases Loaded, the Friday edition, July the 31st. 2026. For Mike, I'm the Shark. Stay fast, stay strong, stay disciplined, and let's dominate.
I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it. Fuse like a magnet, lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine.